Alright, so this little uncontrollable mess that you see here is all the parts that I've already began putting on alligator clips and toothpicks and whatnot. I kind of ran out. I don't know how I ran out because I put them all in a case, but I do remember that some of the clips broke and they got damaged. I don't know how that happened. Regardless of the case, there are certain parts that I had to put away, and I'll say, you know what, I'll concentrate painting, you know, one color, which of course will probably be the gray and the dark gray, which, so I have those parts being used up at this moment, especially the inner frame, which will be of course painted. I'm going to open it up and probably, actually I should put these on its own clips as well, because these things are going to be flopping about. So that's something that I got to consider. And then once I finish painting it, I'll be moving on to the other colors as well. Now, this is not something you guys have seen, you know, this is nothing new. You've seen this many times. The reason why I want to show you this is, I want to show you what I've done with the photo etch parts. Now, just bear in mind, let me show you what I have. First up, let me use this part here. This is the first thing that I used for the photo etch parts, and hopefully you guys can see this in the light. But I put the metal parts on this, as you can see there, and to glue them on, I know there's a product that will merge, of course, metal parts with plastic, but I just use my trusty Loctite. This one, you know, this is a gel version, and what I did was I poured a little gel on a piece of paper, used a little toothpick, dabbed it in the area that I wanted to put it on, then just applied it, make sure it was in the right orientation, so it doesn't lose its, you know, so it's consistent and even. So that came out like that. Other parts which I did, like this part here, same thing. Let me see if you guys can see that. Sorry, didn't realize it wasn't zooming in properly. But if I do that, you could probably see it right there. The next one is this guy here. You know, I thought maybe there's going to be a lot more little, you know, section of holes and circles and whatever. Very few, and small, and not the diameter that I'm looking for. Well, for something like this, like the beam rifle or the sniper rifle, what I did was I put it here, one of the smaller ones here, and I didn't use super glue because this little this little thing right here, it's a metal circle with a line through it. There's no backing, so this will go through the, you know, go through the kit, and you'll see it right there. So what I did was I used Elmer's glue, which is a much more clear base. Just dabbed it in there, stick it in, align it. Then you use a wet piece of paper and wiped off the excess glue, but made sure that this part was there. Now it's totally dry. It's been dry for about a couple of days now, so that's good. Then of course I was starting to work on the thrusters. Where did I put the other thruster? I want to show you two thrusters here. Alright, so these are the back thrusters on the leg, and I put these here. Alright, you know what, I might as well do this. So I use these diameters here to put it on. For this is like the ones that I've used on the Efrit and on the Macross kit that I made last year. So the diameter is perfect. I wish it was a little bigger, but no, this should be fine. I have others, but it didn't seem right, and the diameter was not big enough. So this should be fine. However, for the smaller ones, which is actually on the backpack itself, I use these parts, which hopefully you guys can see this. It's a little vent there. There we go. You see that? I use these, wait a minute, here we go. So I have these here. Which are perfect for these. And when you put this on in something circly or whatever, whether it's in a thruster or anywhere part of the body, it has these little vents that with your hobby knife you can open them up, so that they're perfect for these. Those were used Loctite to glue in, and I had to put a very, very fine amount. I wish I could have put more like detailed parts like that circle ones on the from this in here, but unfortunately it doesn't I don't have anything bigger than this, and I don't have anything that will fit into position. I was actually going on eBay looking at various versions, and I'm probably get my I mean I bought like 5 of these, 6 of these, cost me like 40 bucks. I may end up buying another 2 or 3 more with different sizes. Now this is the one that really came out nice, and I posted this on Facebook and everybody went ballistic. The vents on the knees, if you can see that. See that one? These things can be lifted in any position, but I decided to keep it in this. Oops. And only a little bit of the part has been glued on Loctite, and then I held it in there, and it's perfect. You see? Except for this part here, which I had to bend inwards, and it's there. This came out better than all the other vent ideas that I have tried so far. So this is perfect. Don't want to show everything here, but like here, this part, the little clamp area, you see? And there's another one here. This. Yeah, I have a lot of these, and I was starting to go crazy with them because I put that here, put that in. I think I put that in 1 and 2 in the forearms. The shoulders didn't come out the way I kind of feel how it looks because they're too small. But we'll leave it as the way it is, because I actually don't feel like ruining this. I don't know why. So with that, you see everything here, what I've done with it. I now need to begin painting, so that's what I did with the photo etch parts. And I know that many of you are saying, why am I putting photo etch parts first and not after? Well, in all due fairness, I don't want, why do you want silver parts being exposed on the mobile suit that has to have a low profile? Not too colorful, but you don't want shiny things. That's my interpretation. And they will be painted maybe a different tone of color. I may pass them off, do a little hand painting. So we're not done yet. I mean, right now we prepared it, we got it. I wish I had more photo etch parts. I wish I had more ideas for this. But it is what it is. So let's now continue on and let's begin painting. Alrighty then, so just finish priming all these parts. Normally I was going to show it to you, just going to begin painting, but I'm waiting for this to dry, and I might as well show it to you right now. And due to the fact that I've been working so hard on my job, I didn't have time to get certain supplies. Mainly, I didn't get a chance to buy primer. And usually what I buy is the gray primer by Mr. Hobby. I still have the black primer that you see here, and that's actually what I'm going to use this. I think I may use this. I just have to thin it down so I can begin the pre-shading on the white and brown parts, which of course will be the parts for the pre-shading. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if the pre-shading will look through the gray parts. I haven't tried that. I believe there's a way to simulate that, but I haven't. I forgot who posted a video about that a few months ago, and I forgot to write it, to save it and use that as a point of reference the next time I do something like this. But regardless of the case, I didn't have any gray primer. What I did was I went to one store that was close to me, and that was Michael's, and I purchased Tester spray enamel primer, which was at Michael's for about $4. I bought 2 of them, and they work perfectly, as you can see right here. It is lacquer base, and it is, you know, right now it's been like about maybe 3 hours now. It's still in the drying phase, and it's a good primer, but I haven't used a spray paint primer for a very, very long time, and now I know the reasons why. This thing is very, 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 very sticky, and maybe a little too thick for my taste. Right now I'm moving these parts so they can be more flexible and they don't stick to it. It's not leaving any marks on us anyway, so yeah. Again, I haven't used this in a long time, so when you do use this, make sure that your part is a good, you know, maybe 6 inches away, and then do the spray, and do a quick spray. Don't you know, linger there, because you'll obviously pull up some primer on it. And I did notice a few parts that has something like that. Where is it? Just so I know where to go. Oh, here we go. Here's this one. Nope. Yeah, here we go. So like this one pulled up a bit for whatever reason. I don't know if you guys can see that in the light. Yeah, there's here we go. So there, this has a little weird pooling effect there. So I'm waiting for the whole thing to dry so I can give it a light sanding using this one, this 800 grit, which is a much more light, and I have the 1000 and 2000 grit. So I want to, you know, sand it down evenly. There's others that I've seen here that it's like really, really bad. Let me see. Was it this one? No. What was it? Ah, here. Like this one. I don't know if you could see that part. You see, like it pulled up there. So that came out fine. This one is like, yeah. So I gotta wait at least a day so I begin sanding it down, those areas that have been pulled up a bit, so that way it's nice and even and flush. If I have to respray paint it, fine, but I'll definitely do quick light pass. This is a good paint to use, I mean a good primer to use, but you gotta be very careful, and you have to be very, very, you know, light on your sprays. It's not like an airbrush where you can thin it down and you can tell the consistency of your paint. This one is a little bit more stronger, and I know that there's techniques that I've seen people do where they can actually dump the contents of the spray can into a bottle and use it on an airbrush. I tried that one time, and that made I made a major mess on that, so I was not going to do it again. Clearly I need to go to Gundam Planet and buy myself a couple of bottles of primer, because I ran out. So it is what it is. Here's some of the other parts that I worked on. I sprayed on, I mean. The one cool thing about it is, though, that you don't see no... it's nice and smooth when you spray it on. Yeah. Anyway. So, let me clean it up. Wait for it, clean it down, and then we'll begin the painting phase.